On the second page of our study guide, we're dealing more with angles inside triangles. Another problem with exterior angles of a triangle. We're also dealing with some measures of angles inside isosceles, and there's another isosceles triangle and an equilateral triangle. And we're also dealing with isosceles equilateral again, and then finally a word problem with isosceles triangle. So let's go ahead and get started. What we have here is we have the interior sum theorem, which means that if you have the three angles inside a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. 3x minus 4 plus 9x plus 17 plus 6x minus 31 equals 180 degrees. I'm going to combine my like terms, 3x plus 9x plus 6x, 18x, and then I have negative 4 plus 17 minus 31. It's going to be negative 18, and that's all going to be equal 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and add 18 to both sides. Move this a little bit closer. I'm going to say 18x equals 198 divided by 18. My x equals 11. But you have to be careful, they're not looking for x, they're looking for angle A. So I'm going to take angle A right here, plug in 11. So I'm going to have 9 times 11 plus 17. It's 116 degrees. Next triangle here, we have our exterior angle. Again, that equals the sum, which means I add the two remote interior angles. 5x minus 27 plus 7x minus 26 equals 10x minus 23. I'm going to combine my like terms on the left-hand side. 5x and 7x, that's 12x. Negative 27 minus 26, it's minus 53, equals 10x minus 23. I'm going to add 53 to both sides. You could do this any way you'd like to start it. I'm going to choose to get rid of that. 12x equals 10x. Negative 23 plus 53. It's 30. Plus 30. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides now. That's gone. I have 2x equals 30. Divide by 2. X equals 15. Again, we're not looking for x, we're looking for a. So I need to plug in my 15 here, and I have 5 times 15 minus 27. It's 48 degrees. Next question, we're given an isosceles triangle. What I do know is that the two angles, the base angles across from my congruent sides are congruent. So angle P and R are congruent. R would also be 74 degrees. What I do need to know is what Q is. So I'm going to add 74 plus 74. That's 148. I'm going to take that away from 180. It's 32 degrees. Number 10 is working a little bit backwards. They're giving us the vertex angle here, and I do know that these two angles right here are congruent. So first I start with 180 degrees, and I'm going to subtract 106 to find out what I have left to work with. Start with 180, take away 106. That's 74 degrees. Now I have 74 degrees, but I have two angles to split it amongst. So I'm going to take 74 and divide it by 2. And each of those angles would be 37 degrees, because they're both base angles there. On number 11, we are looking for both an angle and a side. We're looking for angle A first, so what I need to do is add 48 plus 48. That would be 96. I'm going to take that away from 180. That's 84 degrees. And we're also looking for side AC, which is this side over here. And I do know that since these two angles are congruent, that means the sides across from those are congruent. If that's 9, it is also 9 feet. Number 12, they're looking for the angles inside of an equilateral triangle. I know that all my angles have a sum of 180 degrees. I have 3 angles and they're all congruent, so I'm going to divide that by 3 to split it evenly. The rule is anytime you have an equilateral triangle, all the angles are always 60 degrees. Number 13, we want to find the value of x. Again, I know that these are my congruent sides. These are also my congruent angles. So this angle over here is 8x minus 23. So what I do know is when I add all 3 of those together, I get 180 degrees. I'm going to write it a little bit sideways here. 8x minus 23 plus 8x minus 23 plus 34 equals 180. I'm going to combine my like terms, 8x and 8x, that's 16x. Now I have negative 23 minus 23, and then I'm going to add 34. Negative 23 minus 23 plus 34 gives me negative 12. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. Cancel that out. 16x equals 192. Divide 192 divided by 16, and that would be 12. And we're good there because we want to solve for x. So that's our angle. Well, that's not our angle, that's our variable there. Now what we know here is we have an equilateral triangle, meaning all angles are the same. There's 2 different ways to think about this. I do know that each angle equals 60, so I could say 9x minus 3 equals 60. I could also say, since they're all 9x minus 3, I could say that plus that plus that equals 180. So I'm going to do it both ways to show you that it's the same thing. I'm going to say 9x minus 3 plus 9x minus 3 plus 9x minus 3 equals 180. Combine my like terms, 9x, 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 27x, negative 3, and negative 3. Add those together, you get negative 9 equals 180. Add your 9. 27x equals 189. And if I do 189 divided by 27, it's going to get me 7. Now what I did mention in the beginning is that I know each of these angles equals 60. So I could also say on a separate note over here, 9x minus 3 equals 60. Add my 3. 9x equals 63 divided by 9. And 63 divided by 9 does equal 7 as well. Alright, my last problem, CDE is an isosceles triangle with angle D congruent to angle E. Let's mark that. CD, 4x plus 9. DE, the bottom one, 7x minus 5. And CE, 16x minus 27. Alright, what I do know to set this up is that since these are my base angles, these sides are congruent. So I'm going to start with that. 4x plus 9 equals 16x minus 27. And again, I can start with anything I like. I would like to add 27 to both sides. 4x plus 36 equals 16x. I'm going to take away the 4x from both sides. That gets me 36 equals 12x. Dividing by 12, my x equals 3. So I'm going to start there. Okay, next question they want us to know is side CD. CD is right here, that's 4x plus 9. So what I have to do is plug my 3 in there. That's 12 plus 9. It's going to be 21. DE is 7x minus 5. And again, I know my x is 3. So I'm going to go 7 times 3 minus 5. That's 21 minus 5. That is 16. And the last one I have to solve for is CE. That's 16x minus 27. That's 16 times 3 minus 27. And if you notice, CD and CE are the same. So technically, once I figured out what CD was, I could have automatically figured or put down my answer for 21 as being the same thing, because I know this is an isosceles triangle. Whatever that side equals, that side's also going to be congruent.